this episode I've been kind of going crazy with trying to make these ecto packs that came with or proton packs that came with the Ghostbusters Ecto One from Eagle Boss. Make them look a little more realistic, and you can see in these pictures here that they're very good, but they are not. They don't look screen used. They're a little clean for my taste, and some of the things just don't quite match up. And there's no wire harness, and that's kind of a big detail. And so you can see from some of my pictures, I've got mine weathered to this point, but I really wanted the wire harness. And so I was looking online to see what would work. And some people have used data cable, network cables. I decided to use ribbon fiber. This is 12 count ribbon fiber. And we use this stuff at my place of employment, and after training, this lengths of this end up in the garbage. Anyway, so this is a 12 count ribbon fiber, and I did the math and looked at some pictures and did some measuring and realized that having two of these side by side is just about the appropriate length or width, I should actually say. But the one thing that I was concerned about is fiber is pretty brittle, and I'm going to be twisting it and manipulating it quite a bit, and it can be dangerous if it shatters because it is glass. So what I wanted to do was put a coating of Flex Seal on at least one side of it, and that would keep it all together in one. I rigged up this little jig, kinda, so that the pieces would be suspended up off of the foil so that I could spray one side and have it not stick. And I did several. And you can see that now, because it's rubbery on one side, I can manipulate it, I can twist it, and I don't have to really worry about shattering it. So what I'm going to do now, on the screen grabs that I looked at, there's a couple of zip ties, and then there's also a metal strap that has a black cushion in it. So now we're going to make that metal strap and black cushion. And the way we're going to do that is with a couple of my favorite products, good old black electrical tape and aluminum ducting tape. And this is what you would use to repair a furnace. And I learned about this in the arts and crafts by watching Adam Savage. He uses it for lots of different things. And so I'm just going to lay this tape down. I'm trying not to use any of the elasticity in the tape here. And I'm just going to lay it out flat. And I'm kind of using the lines on my mat to straighten it out. Although I didn't do a very good job because I'm being quick here. Then what we need to do is cut a strip of the aluminum tape. And I'm using my trusty metal ruler and the X-Acto knife. Okay, so now we've got a metal strip, and it kind of ripples a little bit, so I just kind of straighten it out with my fingernails, like so. And so now what we're going to do is I'm going to place it where I want it on this electrical tape, and I apologize if you can't see what I'm doing because my hands are in the way. I'm going to peel the backing. Anyway, we'll get this figured out here in a sec. There we go. I hope everybody is staying safe in this, boy, both pandemic and fire season. Right now it seems like California, Oregon, and Washington are all under fire. I'm right in the middle of it. But luckily, where we live, we did not get evacuated, and our house is in not any reasonable threat to the fire. My heart goes out to the people that have lost anything, or even just being displaced and not actually losing. Anyway, so now I'm going to cut the black tape. And that's it. So now I can peel this up. And now what I have is what looks like a metal strap. When I wrap it around something, it looks like a metal strap with a black rubber pad underneath it for wire. What are we going to do with that, you say? So I'm going to take our wire, which is the fiber, and I need to put a twist in it. So I'm going to get my trusty vice grips. Oops. Like so. And just going to put a couple of twists in it. And I want it to hang out so you can see it. But, okay. I don't have any super tiny zip ties. What I do have is phone wire. So this is the copper center conductor from a phone wire. So I'm just going to put this on, give it a nice tight twist. Okay. Cut that, do it one more time. There's 2 zip ties on either side of the rubber strapping. That didn't get tight enough. I'm having a blast doing this Eagle Launch Ecto 1 kit. But, I said before, I'm slightly weathering some of it. My Ecto 1 is going to be probably what it looked like on the drive to the Sedgwick. So the way I picture it is the car itself and the engine and all that is 30 years old. But all of the Ghostbusters paint jobs on the outside is brand spanking new. So, okay, so now I've got my 2 zip ties. And now I'm going to put this guy on. The way I'm going to do this, disconnect one of them, probably disconnect both of these. I don't need the vice grips now. And for the ones that I did, I actually put a little super glue on. But for time purposes, I'm not going to do that. But when in doubt, super glue it. So then I just put this sucker on. You can see I've got a little bit of an overlap of the metal tape. Okay. And so then when we flatten this out, it looks like the wiring harness. And so then when we put that on there, I was able to drill a hole and feed it through, and you can see my little zip ties. Little zip ties, and there's the strap, and then I got it glued down. There's actually even a little embossed spot right here where it looks like it should go, and I've got it glued right there. Okay. And then what I did was I put another little piece of the tape on there, the aluminum tape. Let's do that right now. So you'll see. And I'm just going to eyeball this because I've done 3 of them already and I'm getting pretty good at it, but I'm just going to cut that. Cut that. Okay. So now I've got this tiny little rectangle here with a slightly curved edge, and I'm gonna just stick it on like so, and that I like to tack down with another little piece of glue. And when I've done that, then it looks like this, and it looks like the little metal band strap that that is on the wiring harness. And then we gotta check out our trusty fine tip Sharpie. There's 2 screws on there keeping it down, so we gotta put a little dot. Actually 2. There we go. We got a little dots. Hopefully the focus is not going in and out. I think it is. And then, so then some of the other things that I did was, I looked very, very closely at the pictures, and unfortunately I got all excited and I started doing this, and I realized after I'd done it all that I didn't leave one to do later. So I shortened up some of these wires. This wire right here comes around this little piece, whatever this is. And so in order to get that looking the way I did, I super glued it down there. This blue one I super glued to the wall up here. I cut the top of this guy because in the movie it doesn't extend out very far. These two I shortened up pretty well. And what else did I do? I think that's... Oh, the other thing that I did was they all have, in the movie, they all have this red stripe. I don't know if you can see that. And these white painted dots all the way around it. Mine aren't the greatest. I don't know if you can see that. I was sitting here looking for... What am I going to do? How am I going to paint that? If I'm going to, there's no way I can get a straight line if I paint it, unless I mask it. But how am I going to mask it that tiny? And I'm sitting here and I'm looking at my super glue bottle, and I said, you know what? That label looks like it's the right color. So I ripped a chunk out and I put it down on the bottom. I put some on my mat. Like right here. Laid it down on the mat. Got out the trusty ruler. Oops, there we go. And that's what I glued on. And the white dots are my trusty whiteout pen. Which make a pretty nice little white dot. And then I put a dab of super glue over the top of that so that it would kind of set it and keep it in place. Okay, so then gotta weather it. Gotta make it look right, because this the strap, the color on the strap is a little off color if you look at all the screenshots, the screen grabs. And so my favorite paints right now are the Vallejo model washes. And so here's one. This is the Lovato color, and that's what I've been using for that. And so just put just a drop. And just a dab. Sometimes I use some water. I don't really have any water right here right now, but it doesn't take a lot. And you can see it already looks old and dingy, which is kind of exactly what I'm looking for. Also, this pipe right here is like a copper or brass or something that's not steel. And also the top up here is black too, so I'm going to put a black wash on it. And after I get through doing all of that, then I end up with the completed product, which is this one. I don't know if how it looks in this light, but you can see the weathering. Makes it look old, used. So then, for the wands, the wands come with there's a black. They use like kind of like a small tube, and any screen grab I've ever seen, this one is green. and there's one on the front that's red, which they don't come with at all. So what I have done, and I'll show you how I do it. In this scenario, it's kind of scary, but I'm going to snip that flush. Now I'm going to take my little micro drill, and I did measure the wire that I'm using, so I'm going to, and I got the drill bit for the right wire, and this is kind of hard. You gotta be careful when you start it, because it does like to drift until it grabs. Okay, I'm just going just maybe 2 millimeters. You're gonna laugh when you see what I'm using. Gotta do this hole now, and I'm drilling the hole right where I cut the nobular things that the tubes are stuck on. Okay. Don't need you anymore. And so I'm just using, and I've got a piece already cut out for this, I'm just using telephone wire. The green, red and green telephone wire. Here's the red. Here's the green. So now what I'm going to do, get my little strippers, strip out just the tiniest little bit of the threads. There we go. That's and what I'm going to do on this is park a little bit of super glue, not a lot, just a dab right on top of that hole. And I don't want it to look like it's been super glued. I like to get it a little set before I put it in. And I'm also going to give these wires a twist just to keep them happy and in the same straight direction. Okay. And now I'm going to put this in. Find the hole in the middle of the super glue. And now I'll let that set. And once it's dry and set, then I can manipulate it around into the other hole. Through the magic of space-time, I've already got one. So this side I'm going to strip it again. Just a little bit. Now we're going to put another drop of glue right on top of the hole. And it hasn't needed much. And for this, I like grabbing the tweezers. We'll see how well this one goes. This is the first one I've done on camera. was getting fast and I didn't give the wires a twist, so they spread and went all over the place. See? Process is there for a reason, and when you skip a step in the process, the original intent is to speed it up, but it doesn't. There we go. So now I'm just going to hold on to this for a second until it sets. Give it a blow. And there we have it. And now you can see I've done the same with the red on the front. And that, I think they're called the Neutrona ones. So now I have to reattach them. But once I reattach them, you can see that looks pretty good. So anyway, that's as close as I can get to what they look like in the movie. I excited to see pictures, comments, see what other people did. Anyway, glad I could share with you. See you later.